So I'm ranking every Tyler the Creator album from worst to best. The rankings are going to be based strictly on my enjoyment of each album, so moving forward, keep that in mind.
Cause I'm an evil bastard.
So yeah, I decided to include Bastard, and it's coming in last place. I don't think it's a hot take to say this, but the album isn't the worst thing I've ever heard. In terms of Tyler the Creator music, it definitely just is too edgy for me. Like, I get the purpose of it, but it definitely leans more on edginess than lyricism.
The perfection of my shit, I know you smell the rectum.
The album does kind of have a concept, but almost every Tyler the Creator album kind of has a concept, and for that reason I just decided to place it at the bottom. And you know, not too far removed from that is Goblin. I think a lot of the elements from Bastard carry on to this album, and that's basically my biggest problem with it. However, the difference here is that there's definitely songs that I listen to repeatedly, like She with Frank Ocean. But overall, these two aren't necessarily albums I go back to, and I don't find them very enjoyable. I admit that they have some cool songs, but I couldn't get through this album in one listen if I tried.
Excuse me, mister, but can you please turn down?
This might be my first controversial take with putting Cherry Bomb so low, but in my opinion, although I appreciate the experimentation on the album, and I do think it sounds good, I think the ones above it sound better. I understand why people love it, but I love the other ones more. I think the album might have been better if it was just the last 7 songs. But even then, I still think that the next 4 albums would have been better. But this album is definitely better than Goblin and Bastard, and I think there's a gap between the two. Shout out to Smuckers though.
Wait, yeah. Why don't they like me?
Okay, so going forward, all these albums, you can put them in whatever order. I put Wolf here just because I think the other 3 have a more solid case, but I can still see myself putting Wolf over the other 3, and ultimately I wouldn't have a problem if that's what you do. This is an album that I enjoy for the melodic songs, the rap songs, and really everything in between. There's definitely still some edginess here, but it doesn't really bother me here. Mainly because it doesn't feel like it's edginess first and then lyrics second. Also, the production here is the best up to this point. There's a lot of songs that I can pick for a standout, but I'm gonna have to go with the obvious one with Answer.
Hey dad, it's me, I'm Tyler.
But yeah, overall I think Wolf is definitely way better than Cherry Bomb, Bastard, and Goblin.
Niggas ain't really on the type of shit.
In order for me to decide on the top 3, I really had to nitpick. I could wake up tomorrow and reorder the top 3, but for now, I'm just gonna go with Call Me If You Get Lost at number 3. It's the album that I'm least familiar with of the top 3, and I definitely appreciated the switch up for this album. I didn't expect it to be a purely rap album until the single came out, and I think everybody was kind of shocked by the fact that it wasn't just Tyler singing again. If we're talking about my favorite track on this album, I gotta go with Hot Wind Blows with Lil Wayne. The flute sample to me is just crazy, and the Lil Wayne verse about Mother Nature and all of that, crazy. This is another hot take, I guess. I know for a lot of Tyler fans, Igor is number 1, and again, I don't mind that. To me, it really just came down to I don't like the instrumentation here as much as I do in Flower Boy, so I put this one at number 2. But I will say that I do think that Are We Still Friends is better than whatever is in Flower Boy.
Are we still friends? Sick of chasing. You're the one that's always running through my day.
So, at number 1, I'm going with Flower Boy. The more and more I thought about it, I just had to go with this one on top. Even if in my mind it's low-key a 3-way tie, this one just has the songs that connect with me, the instrumentation, and sure, it's not Tyler rapping at his best, and it's not Tyler singing at his best, but it does provide kind of the best of both worlds in terms of the rapping and the singing. 911 is my favorite track on this album, and the bars are pretty fire. And this is also one of my favorite Frank Ocean features. If you want to hear more thoughts on why I think this album is so important for Tyler the Creator, I did make a video on that. So if that's what you'd like, you can go ahead and check it out. But yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Shout out to J Dilla.